Isn't it funny, right, that the party that can't define what a woman is suddenly propping up one on a pedestal because she is a woman, and a bonus, a woman of color. MSDNC's Michael Steele posting a photo, that one right there, of Kamala as Captain America. It's now gone viral. Kamala hailed as a superhero because, unlike Joe Biden, she can climb stairs. She can ride a bike. All of it almost as fantastical as the Biden regime trying to convince us that Joe stepped aside all on his own, when we all know that Democrats shoved him aside, and that the real reason Joe is out of this race now is because the mega-rich Democrat donor class, they turned off the spigot of cash to his campaign, privately and publicly.
The ship has sailed, and there is basically almost no support remaining for him as the candidate, not against him personally, but because nobody thinks he can beat Trump. And I think, unfortunately, that's correct.
It's always been about the money. Democrats, they never care that Joe Biden couldn't do the job, about his mental decline. Those factors are actually a plus for the oligarchs. Joe's been in office for 52 years now, so it's no secret who Joe Biden is, well before even stepping into the White House with Barack Obama.
I have a record that people can go back and examine and decide whether or not I mean what I say, whether, no matter how I say it, whether I'm consistent with what I've asserted I care about. That's all I care about. And, but, you know, there's going to be a lot, I'm sure, a lot of things said about it.
I like who he is, and I think the American people will.
Yeah, you liked him so much, Barack, that you stabbed him in the back, and you and your cohorts dropped Joe faster than a toddler with an ice cream cone after that disastrous debate. So then, as per usual, the rich donor class, they had to install a new puppet, that woman right there. And this time, of course, it's Kamala Harris, who is now staying perfectly on script these days, have you noticed? You see, this is the real reason why the left, they hate Trump so much. Because no one pulls Trump's strings. No one. Except for God.
But if the events of last Saturday make anything clear, it is that every single moment we have on earth is a gift from God.
And that's why Democrats, they mock us when we talk about God, because they think they're gods. Did you see? Look at this photo right here. At the Olympics, during their opening ceremony, making a mockery of the Last Supper. They're not even trying to hide their disdain for Christians any longer. They're telling us right to our face that they hate us, they loathe us, they mock us, but God will not be mocked. The swamp creatures are emboldened to do whatever they want, from mocking God to disregarding the 14 million people who voted for Joe Biden in the primaries. Screw your democracy. We are going to pick the candidates, the Democrats say. The oligarchs, they installed Kamala because the elite ruling class, they couldn't take the risk that someone they couldn't control would win. It's always about control. Right now, Kamala, she's on a tight leash because they've had major reservations about her, not just because of her nonsensical word salads, the reports of her foul language, the angry outbursts. They're all indicative of a person who lacks self-control.
We have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that f***ing door down.
That's not becoming. Come on. Nothing funny about using foul language. Kamala's erratic behavior, that weird cackle, and her personal skills, they're also a real issue. In the past 3 years, her office has seen a 92% turnover rate. Think about that. Almost her entire office has quit since she became the vice president. She's not well liked by anyone. Her managerial skills, they're abysmal. And her policies, they're as far left as you can get.
I'm not in favor of decriminalizing or not having consequence for. We have to keep. Let me just be very clear. We have to have a secure border. But I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
Did you notice not even audience members at The View clapped when she said that she wants to decriminalize illegal crossings? Kamala also, she wants to defund the police.
For too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
Unbelievable. How is that wrong, right? Who would have thought adding more cops would lead to more safety? So what's the answer here? More programs, Kamala? Despite the media now trying to paint Kamala as a moderate, would a moderate push those radical policies along with the Green New Deal, open borders, defunding of the police? And then look at her campaigning on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Each day, we are seeing our rights and freedoms under attack, including the right of everyone to be who they are, love who they love, openly and with pride. So as we fight back against these attacks, let's all remember, no one is alone. We are all in this together, and your vote is your power.
Look at that. Kamala is asking for votes on a show that celebrates men dressing up as women in provocative outfits. Don't you see, Democrats, they want to normalize the abnormal, demonize the righteous, like President Trump. They continue to call him a felon and a rapist, but this too was all part of this master plan. That rape case, let's put aside the fact that Trump's accuser had no proof of an encounter, never mind an attack, right, by Trump. The man funding that rape case is that guy right there. He just so happens to be, what a coincidence, to be the same mega donor now funding Kamala's presidential campaign to the tune of millions of dollars.
Vice President Harris is much more of the pro-business candidate than Trump and Vance.
But Vice President Harris, she wants to raise the corporate tax rate. Biden-Harris administration has, in fact, imposed tariffs. So aren't there some anti-business concerns there as well?
I think what's most important for business is stability of a country, unity, rule of law.
Yeah, your rule of law. Sadly, millions of Americans, they're going to fall for this latest scam that Kamala is some sort of great moderate, when in reality, everything from the left is perception, structured deception, perfectly constructed to fool you using your own emotions.